Before we go any further, before we start with our first core feature of Node.js, I want to just bring everyone on the same level and discuss some of the basics of Node.js. Let's start with why we use Node. So in software engineering, typically we build two types of systems. One type of system is input and output, and typically it's the most expensive. And then the other type of systems, they're CPU bound. So you either consume a lot of CPU or you consume a lot of input and output. And the input and output, they tend to be more widespread systems, especially in web development. So Node.js has this thing, it's called non-blocking I/O, or non-blocking input and output, which allows us to build non-blocking I/O systems. This is a schematic representation of how non-blocking I/O works inside of Node.js. So you have your event loop, which is single-threaded and it's constantly looking for things to execute. It borrows from Google Chrome V8 engine, so it's very efficient, it's very fast, it's very optimized to run JavaScript. So let's say we're building a web server, we have requests coming to the event loop. Event loop will schedule them somewhere else, like a file system database computation. It has a way to delegate them. Along with scheduling, along with the task itself, it will also send a callback. So once the operation is complete, the callback, which is typically just another JavaScript or Node code, it will go back to event loop. So now event loop kind of knows what to do next. So the callback code will be triggered and executed. Inside of the callback, we usually send back the data to the requestees, to the clients who requested that operation in the first place. Let me give you a code example. This is Java code in which we put the entire thread, the entire process to sleep. So thread.sleep 1000, so 1000 milliseconds would be 1 second. So we go on line number 1, then line number 2, which will output step 1, step 2. Then the entire thing would be idle, it will be waiting, and then you would see step 3. So you cannot do anything while this Java process is waiting 1 second. Contrast that with this Node.js code. So first we would see step 1, then we would see step 2. So the entire definition, the statement console.log step 3 would be skipped. It would be scheduled in the future. And only after 1 second it will be executed. But the key here is that we can have more code in this process. So step 4, it would run. It would not wait for step 3 because step 3, it's inside of the callback. It's executed asynchronously in the future. So event loop will take the definition inside of set timeout. That's your callback. That callback will say step 3 and step 5 and scheduled in the future, and then it will continue to run the code. So we can do interesting things like running multiple code in parallel.